Chapter 3. Inche made her way through the Sydney airport quickly. The astonishment of airports had worn off, and now all she wanted to do was get to her new apartment. She was looking the address up in her phone and not paying attention when her heel caught on a piece of carpet and she stumbled, knocking right into John again. Luckily this time she was able to regain her balance and not fall. John removed a pair of stylish sunglasses from his face and asked, "Are you all right?" Inche, seeing it was him, felt the wave of embarrassment overtake her once again. She looked down when she said, "I am fine, thank you. Sorry for—" But before she could finish, John cut her off. "You really need to watch where you're going," John said, sliding his sunglasses back on. "And here's a little piece of advice. When travelling, you should wear comfortable shoes, especially if you don't even know how to walk in heels." And with that, John took off towards the loading and unloading. Inche wanted to walk in the other direction, but realised he was going to the same place the taxis were. So instead she slowly and carefully followed. Once outside, John headed over to a luxurious black car where a driver was waiting to take his bags. Before climbing into the car, he looked back and saw Inche trying to hail a taxi. He wondered to himself why a girl like that would ever travel alone when she clearly couldn't take care of herself. Then he saw her face light up when a taxi pulled up to her, and her smile made him smile, and he hoped that she was going to be okay. Inche felt more than okay as the taxi pulled out from the airport and started down the highway. She'd made it. She was here in Sydney and on her way to her new apartment and her new life. The taxi driver could see the excitement on her face and asked, "First time in Australia?" "Yes," Inche replied, glued to the window, taking in all the sights of her new home. "Are you just visiting, or—" "I'm here for school," Inche told him. "I'm going to be a nurse." The taxi driver smiled at this. "My mum was a nurse," he said. "I think you're going to like living in Australia." "I think so too," Inche said, and her and the driver exchanged a smile. She turned to look back out the window and felt annoyed as she found her mind wandering to the handsome jerk John. When Inche reached her new apartment building, there was a man about her age standing outside smoking. She recognised him from a picture online. His name was Bold, and he was from Mongolia as well. A friend of her relative, Balor. Balor had introduced Inche to Bold through email, because Bold helped to run an apartment building for students just like Inche. As she stepped out of the taxi, Bold put out his cigarette and walked over to her with a friendly smile and said, "Welcome, I'm Bold, and you must be Inche. Balor has told me a lot about you. How was your trip?" "Long," Inche said with a smile as they shook hands. "It's nice to meet you, Bold. I'm very excited to be here and start my studies." "We're excited to have you. I bet you're tired. Come on, I'll show you to your room." Bold led Inche into the building and up a flight stair and down a hallway of doors to one on the end. Bold pushed the door open and stepped aside. "Here we are." Inche walked in and looked around. It was just one room, a studio, not much bigger than her bedroom at home, but with a small stove, fridge, and a door leading to a tiny bathroom with a shower. "What do you think? Is it okay for you?" "I love it," Inche said in an almost whisper. This was her first apartment, and for her it was perfect. Bold smiled. "Cool. It's a single, so it's all yours. Some students share rooms to help save money and pay the rent. I have a few people looking for a roommate if you'd rather do that." "No," Inche said, shaking her head and looking around the room. "I prefer to live alone." "Okay," Bold said, and handed Inche a piece of paper. "Here's the cost breakdown of what you need to pay now and what you need to pay per month." Inche took the paper and looked it over, and her face dropped. "It says I owe a bond?" Inche said, confused. "What's a bond?" Sorry, I should have explained it to you, as we don't have bonds back in Mongolia, Bold said, while pointing to the paper in Inche's hand. A bond is a security payment in case you break or damage something. If when you move out of the room everything in it is fine, then the bond will be refunded. Make sense? I think so, Inche said, looking over the paper. Bold could see the worry on her face. Is this okay for you? Like I said, I have people looking for roommates. It'll be cheaper that way. Inche shook her head and took out her wallet. No, this is fine, Inche said, and started counting out the money. She hadn't planned for the security bond and suddenly found most of her money gone within hours of landing in Australia. Bold took the money, counted it, and wrote her a receipt. I hope you get used to the culture here quickly, he said, handing her the receipt. If you need a hand with anything, or have any questions, just ask. My apartment is right down the hall, and I told Balor I'd look out for you. Good luck, and welcome to Sydney! Bold dropped a set of keys into Inche's hand and stepped out, shutting the door. Inche took a deep breath. Her parents sacrificed a lot to get her here. It was now her responsibility to get a job, work hard, and study hard. They did their part, now she had to do hers. She'd make them proud. Inche let out a long, slow breath and dragged her suitcase to the bed to start unpacking. Meanwhile, several miles away in a luxurious penthouse apartment, John sipped on a glass of fine scotch, happy to be home. He heard a knock at the door and walked past his lavish furniture and looked at a small TV screen next to the door leading to a camera outside. He saw his friend Alex waving. John smiled and opened the door. Alex, a handsome bearded man with dark, curly black hair, marches right into the room and gives John a huge bear hug. You did it, mate, Alex said, and slapped John on the shoulder. That negotiation was masterful. This deal is going to make the company millions. Thanks, man, John said while shutting the door. So, did you bring it? Alex asked with a smile. John answered with a matching smile. Yes, where is it? Come on, it's in my bag. Let's grab some glasses. John grabs a set of wine glasses and they walk into his bedroom, which is just as lavish as the rest of the apartment. His suitcase sits unopened on the bed. I love this wine, Alex says as they approach the bag. I dream about this wine. We really need to just order a case of it from China. We should, John says as he unzips the bag. But for now, a bottle will just have to do. John opens the bag and frowns. He starts to shuffle through the bag, finding all women's clothing. Alex looks over John's shoulder. What's up with all the women's clothing? Where's the wine? Alex asked, looking confused. John's eyes light up as understanding comes over him. That girl! What girl? Alex asked. This clumsy girl on the plane. We had the same suitcase. She knocked into me and now... John held up a pair of brand new shoes and a pair of high heels. I now have these instead of my designer suits and expensive wine. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. But with the deal you closed, you can buy a whole new wardrobe. Yeah, John said, zipping the bag back up. Hey, I don't really feel like partying now. I get it, Alex said, standing. We can celebrate later. I'll see you tomorrow. Alex started to leave, but John stopped him, handing him the blue suitcase. Hey, will you throw this away for me? John asked. Alex took the suitcase but looked confused. Throw it away? But there's brand new clothes in here. Brand new shoes, never before been worn. Why should I care? John said, rolling his eyes. I'll never see her again anyway. Alex shrugged and took the bag. Okay, well, try not to let this ruin your mood. These things happen, Alex said, and left with the bag. John poured himself another glass of scotch, downed it in 2 big gulps, and then stripped down, wanting nothing more than a hot shower and to climb into bed.